I mean, considering they're just putting people in jail without any kind of due process for years on end, I can see obviously why you wanted to flee Hong Kong. Did you have any challenges? Like, is it difficult? Because since they're arresting people in mass, how difficult is it for people like you to actually get out of Hong Kong?
I keep it very confidential. Not until 2 months after I left Hong Kong, I announced that I have left. And I purchased the ticket a week before uh, the days that I left. And I kept extremely confidential. Not even my parents would know until few days before I have to leave. And one thing that a lot of us has been doing was to purchase a round trip ticket, and to fool the people around that we would come back. And yeah, and I did face a little bit of difficulties when I get through the border in at the Hong Kong airport, and but I must say I'm quite lucky, and I wasn't as highest profile, or the most prominent activists or politicians by then. So it was just a little bit of difficulty being asked a few of the questions and stopped at the border, but they released me and allowed me to get on the plane after that too.
I mean, that must have been personally very difficult, though, to have to say goodbye to your parents,
Yeah,
to leave your home.
yeah. I must say my situation wasn't the worst, and I am quite lucky that my parents were quite supportive by then. By then, 3 years ago, and so it was really tough to to leave uh, the cities that I was born and raised in, and invested a lot of time there, to the community, to the society, and and even during that time I was still drenched in the guiltiness that I was forced to resign and cannot complete my duty to the supporters who voted for me in the elections. So there was a lot that I still wanted to do, but then at the same time I also felt that I perhaps can do more, if I am free. And I I also didn't want it to be another burden for the people, if I because for myself I must admit it that I wouldn't stop talking about or to be compromised. So I could anticipate that I would still speak up. So if that's the case, then I would post myself in danger and may cause a lot of troubles, and financially and physically and mentally burden to not only my family but people around me. And also perhaps, for example, the legal resources or many of the uh, uh, political prisoners support resources will need to be shared. So um, to calculate and trying to utilize myself and my voice. So I have uh, you know I didn't think that I have a choice, that I uh, not to leave. Yeah.
I mean, if you had not left when you did, do you think you would be in jail now?
I mean, people here in the UK who are still being sort of politically active has always been, talking about or asking ourselves about for this question as well. Um, but then we could never anticipate the future that we weren't in, and I might be or might not be, but then I must say, until now, I still found that for myself, I could do more if I am outside. But I always wanted to go back. I missed a lot of things there. Not only the place, but more than that is the people inside Hong Kong, and of course my families and relatives as well.
Now that it's been 5 years since the 2019 protests, um, how do you feel about those protests looking back? How do you think that the Hong Kongers, including those now in exile, feel about them?
Uh, we, as times passed, I have left Hong Kong for 3 years now, and memories, or place, or um, memories of Hong Kong basically has been I started to feel a little bit distance with the Hong Kong community inside Hong Kong. But then we are, particularly because the national security law and also the Article 23 and the bounties actually affected a lot for the communication between people outside and people inside. The chilling effects, and also the fear that's imposed among the diaspora and also the on-the-ground community has been really effective, I may say. And but we are still kind of trying our best to connect and to bridge ourselves to people on the ground, and to people who are still, working so hard to find alternatives or find some ways to continue the spirit of the movement inside Hong Kong. And we are, uh, I mean, definitely we are, all of us are afraid or being threatened by so many oppressions happening inside and outside Hong Kong. But we, the democratic movements happened in 2019. It's always the memories that keep us, keep us up, or keep us to continue to our fights, even though we are now in exile, feeling a little bit detached with Hong Kong.